Today we're going to look at large numbers and place values. So the chart you have in front of you is a place value chart. If you look at it, there are four sections. There's the first in the purple, the yellow, the pink, and the blue. So each of these sections is called a period. This is called your unit period. I want to write that down there so we have that with us. So this is called your unit. That's your unit period. This is your thousandths period, so that's the second one in pink. This is your thousandths period. This is your millions period, and this is your billions period. And how do you know which one it is? If you look at the one in the blue, that gives you, so this is your billions period, your millions period, your thousands period, and this one with the ones is called your unit period. So each of these are sections. When you write these numbers out in whole, you need to leave a space between each of the periods. So when we're writing a number out, we write with some space in there. So we're going to go to our next page here. So numbers can come in three different forms: a standard form, and a standard form is just having the number written out. And so I'm going to give you a number in standard form. So this could be any number. So when you have a number, you have it written out in standard form. And if you noticed, I left a space between each of the periods. So you put three numbers, you leave a space, you write your next three digits, and then you leave a space, and then you have your next ones. So this is, again, our units period. This is our thousandths period. This is our millions period. If I was to say this number, it would be 99,300,327. So again, each of these is said separately, and then they're put together. So expanded form would be taking that number and breaking it down into each of its place values. And so we'll go through and we'll do what that looks like. So this is going to be a little bit harder for me to fit in, but what I do is I write the first digit. I wrote my first digit, which is my 9, and then I count how many spaces, how many places are being taken up. So I know this is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I know that I need to have 7 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to add that because we're expanding it, and I'm going to put my next number in. So my next digit is also, in this case, a 9. So I put my 9 in again. And this time it's 1, 2, sorry, I'm going to count with the pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there should be 6 place value holders. So they're holding up 6 spaces. And then again, we are adding it. And then we have our 3. And again, how many spaces are being held after that? If I count them, there are going to be 5 spaces. And it's going to keep going, so we're going to keep adding. I have to put my addition sign here because I've run out of space. If you, obviously you might have space on your line paper, so you would copy it out in one row. If we look at the next digit, it's a 0. So because it's a 0 there, we are not going to write it out in our addition statement. Instead, we are going to skip right to the 3. Because this tells me that there are placeholders right there. So those two zeros will remain the same. If I was adding it, I'm starting here at my hundredths unit. So my hundredths units is a 3. So I'm going to put down my 3. And then the placeholders that come after the 3, there's only 2 right there. So there's the 2 and the 7. So there should be only 2 zeros after that number. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 zeros in. And then I'm going to continue to add, and then I have a 2, and again 1 placeholder, and then I have my 7, and after the 7, if you look, there are no more placeholders, so there's nothing after the 7, so it's just a 7. So that is an expanded form. So I took my number from the standard form. This is the way you'd normally see a number in its standard form. I've expanded it, and expand means to make bigger. So I've made it far bigger. Okay, so I've written it out in an addition statement. Then we have our number and word form. And number and word form means to put it in part numbers and part words. So if I said, remember I told you originally what the number is said like? It's 99 million. And that's my, so if you look, this is my number, and this is my word, 99 million. And I'm going to keep going. I have 300,000. And it continues with 327, and that's it. So, because that's my hundreds. So I have 99 million, 300,000, and 327. And I'm going to give you a first example. So if I was to take this number, and what form is that? We're going to look at it. We know that this is in standard form. We are in standard form. And then if I take the standard form and I go ahead and I start to break it down, I can break it down into my expanded form. And expanded form, again, just like I showed you before, you're counting your zeros. So if my first digit is a 4, that's my placeholder. And then I go 1, I'm counting my zeros again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I know I'm going to need 7 zeros there. And then again I add, and I'm going to be adding my next digit. My placeholder is a 1, and then I have, again, I count my zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to add my 6 zeros. And then I continue to add, and it's going to be a 9. And again, I know my placeholder, and there's 5 zeros. I continue to expand, and I've got the placeholder of a 6, and this time there's 4 zeros remaining. And I keep going. I'm going to run out of space here, so I'm going to go to the next line. I have my 2, and again, we have 3 zeros. And then again, we come to the 0. When you come to a 0 like this, you again don't write it in. You skip that number, you go to the next digit, which is my tens digit. This is my hundreds digit. My hundreds digit is a 0, which I have right here. So I'm going to remember that that's going to be a 0. We're skipping straight to the tens digit, which is going to be written as a 10. And then again, I'm adding, and I have a 4. And so this is in my expanded, so this whole thing is now my expanded form. This is my standard form. This is my expanded form. Now again, if I was to put this in words, it's going to be 41, again, million. You're looking at those periods. Remember, this is your first 3. This is your units, unit period. This is your thousands period. This is my millions period. So that's why I got the 41 million. Then I have my 962,000 and I have 14. Okay, because again, it's not 114 because there is no hundredths digit. It's just going to be 14. So now this is where your work comes in. I've given you a number, and so here is your number in standard form. What I want you to do is I want you to give it to me in expanded form, and I also want you to give it to me in number word form. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to pause your video. You're going to try the question, and then when you are done, you're going to press play on the video, and you will see if you are correct. So go ahead and pause. Welcome back. So this is your standard form. Like I told you, this was the number in standard form, and your task was to put it in expanded form. So once again, if I was going to put it in expanded form, I'm going to go ahead and show you. I counted my zeros, and I'm going to keep adding. So again, each time I count my zeros and I continue to add. And again, I'm running out of space here. I know you guys have more space than I do, but you're checking if your work is correct, and each time I'm counting my zeros. So that is an expanded form. In number word form, this one's a little bit easier because we don't actually have a million. We're just looking at thousands and the hundreds. So we have 672,000 and 384. So that was pretty easy, right? Let's try the next one, ladies and gentlemen. So here's your second task. This time I've given to you an expanded form. I want you to take it from expanded form and give it to me in standard form as well as in number words. So you're giving it to me in standard form and you're giving it to me in number words. So go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, pause your video, and when you're ready, press play. Go ahead and pause. Okay, welcome back. And now I'm going to give it to you in standard form. So again, when you're doing in standard form, you know that there are, so we look at the placeholders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my 7th digit. So I'm going to put my 7th digit down first. Then I go to my next digit and I say how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember there was a 6th digit here. That's that 6th digit. That's the 0. That means he has to stay. He's not going anywhere. Then my 4 comes in. Then I look at my next digit and I say, okay, how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I was to put them 1, 2, 3, 4, it'd go right after the number 4. So I go ahead and I pop it in there. And I keep going. And if you count again, it's 1, 2, 3. So we know that that digit is going to go there. And then I just can keep going. And it's a 4. And it's my 9. So that is my number in standard form, and I was to put that in words. Again, you're counting your units. So this is my per unit period, this is my thousandths period, this is my million. So in terms of the amount that I have 3 million, I have 45,000, and I have 349. Okay, so you've tried that one. Make sure you've gotten it correct. If you don't have it correct, make sure you do correct your work. And this is the last question that I'm going to give you, but I'm not going to do this one for you. So this is your last task. I've given it to you in written form. So number word form. Your homework for tonight is to give it to me in standard form as well as in expanded. So I'm going to check tomorrow morning to see if you've done this. So I want it in standard and expanded form. And that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.